class, welcome to your first video lecture. Today we're going to be starting in Unit 1, the number system, and we're going to be talking all about rational numbers. So by now you should have your rational numbers guided notes, as you can see right here, and if you don't, go ahead and grab it and then we'll go ahead and get started. The first question we're asked is, what are rational numbers? Rational numbers can be defined as any number that can be written as a fraction without zero in the denominator. For those of you who can't really remember what the word denominator means, it basically means the bottom part of the fraction. So like this. If we have a fraction with zero in the denominator, there's no way it could be a rational number. There are several different types of rational numbers, which include fractions. Remember, those fractions have to not have zero in the denominator. Decimals. And those decimals could be terminating or repeating decimals. Okay? A terminating decimal is something like 0.5. That's it. A repeating decimal is something like 0.55555 that goes on forever. Okay? So we have decimals. Rational numbers also include something called integers. We're going to be studying a lot about integers this year. Whole numbers. And natural numbers. Okay? So these are all the different types of rational numbers. So now I want you to look at this big image. We're going to use this big image that you see on your notes to classify the different types of rational numbers. Starting in the outer square, we're going to start with rational numbers as a whole. Remember that rational numbers are any number that can be written as a fraction. So we're going to start off by filling in this top section with some examples of rational numbers. Negative 100 is a rational number. 7.5 is a rational number. The whole number 5 is a rational number. Negative 8 is a rational number. 0 is a rational number. A half is a rational number. The number 1 is a rational number, and the number 33 is a rational number. Now let's move to the next section. Our next set of rational numbers is called integers. Integers are positive and negative whole numbers and zero. So, looking at the numbers that we already identified as rational numbers, let's now identify what would count as an integer. Negative 100 is a negative whole number, so negative 100 is an integer. 7.5 is not a whole number, so it's just going to stay here. Positive 5 is an integer. Negative 8 is an integer. The number 0, remember, can be counted as an integer. A half is not an integer because it cannot be simplified into a whole number, so we're going to leave that there. The number 1 is an integer, and the number 33 is an integer. Now let's move to the next set. Our next set or category of rational numbers is called whole numbers. The whole number group consists of only the positive whole numbers and zero. So now let's see which numbers make the cut. Negative 100 is not positive, so it stays in the integers category. Positive 5 is a whole number. Negative 8 is negative, so it's going to stay there. 0 is a whole number. 1 is a whole number. And 33 is a whole number. Now, let's move to our last and final set. Our last and final set is going to consist of natural numbers. Okay? Natural numbers are only the positive whole numbers, not including 0. So now let's look at what numbers we have left and see what makes the cut and falls into the category of natural numbers. 5 would be a natural number because it's positive whole. 0, I'm sorry, you can't come to this party. 0, we're going to leave right there. Then we have 1, which is a positive whole number, and we have 33. Okay? So now, if we take a look at everything, we can see that numbers like 5, 1, and 33 could fit in any category. But certain numbers only fit in some categories. To better illustrate this, what I want you to do is take a few moments, pick 4 color pencils. Here are my 4. And I want you to color each category a different color. This is going to further help you see the differences between the different sets of rational numbers. When you're finished, we'll be right back on to complete the practice activity. By now, your integer illustration should be colored beautifully just like mine. All right? Now, we're going to use this to help us with the practice problems below. Now, I'm not going to do all the problems for you because I want to give you a chance to show me whether or not you understand rational numbers. But I am going to do the first one with you. All right? Number 1 says to circle the natural number. Select all that apply. All right? So the numbers I have right now are 6.33, positive 1, negative 20, and 1/3. I'm going to look back at what natural numbers consist of. Natural numbers, since they are positive whole numbers only, the only number that would categorize as a natural number would be, you guessed it, 1. Now the next section says for me to explain why the number I chose is a natural number. Well, simply put, I chose this number because it is the only positive whole number. Okay? Please keep in mind that I wrote my answer in a complete sentence, and I expect for you to do the same. All right? Now, here's what I want you to do. Go ahead and answer questions 2, 3, and 4 using your notes as a guide. When you are finished, you need to get your answers checked by me, and when you have finished that, you can move on to the next part of your task sheet. See ya!